Hi, this is Ken Mahar, CEO and founder of Email Broadcast. I wanted to give you a little behind the scenes look today. Every week, my team meets for an hour and we talk about training issues. Generally, how do we sharpen our saw and become even better than we are today? This last week, we took some time out to talk about something that's heavy on my mind, which is the planet and what we are doing individually and as a group for the planet. We're proud to be 1% for the planet members, and I encourage any business owners listening to this to really look at that. But this is donating 1% of your sales, largest number on your P&L, to some nonprofit that is impacting the planet. This is whether you're profitable or not kind of commitment. So hopefully you take a look at that. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a quick look behind the scenes on what our people are doing for their part. Maybe there's a few ideas. I certainly took away a couple of to-do items after talking to my team about it. I hope you do as well. And it's all up to us, right? Individual impacts create a group impact, which create an impact to save the world. So hopefully you find something interesting in this. And without further ado, here's just kind of the midsection of one of our meetings that you can hope you enjoy. I don't know if you guys know this, but the planet is heating up. And it's a little bit scary as to how quickly, if you've read the stuff about Greenland lately, no, it's not for sale. But the massive ice sheets that are, there's a glacier in Greenland that's receding at like 2 miles a year. Like 30 yards a day is just capping off from this thing. The warm water is right up to the glacier, so it's undermining it from underneath. Efforts and their energy. So what I would like to do is hear from you any efforts that you're making around this global warming crisis. Efforts could be, your day-to-day habits, any couple things that you've changed over the last year, the selections you make in the marketplace, where you donated some money. The fact that you work here is a good start. We contribute 1% for the planet, and that is 1% of gross sales. That's the largest number that we on our profit and loss statement. So several $1,000s a year is going towards a environmentally focused company. But anybody want to share a little bit about what they're doing? I'll start. This year, for the first year ever, we have a garden. And so we're growing some of our own fruits and vegetables. We have a real hard time making it to the farmer's market, like in the 2 hours that it's open. And so we thought, let's just kind of skip that whole process, maybe grow some of our own food. So all the transportation to send us cucumbers and tomatoes and carrots and lettuce has all gone away because we're growing it out of our backyard. So I feel pretty good about that. Anybody else have a green tip or contribution that they're making? Dara?
Well, several things. Just it's all little stuff, but to me, all the little stuff can add up. So changing over we live on an acre, and a lot of people try to plant grass and all this kind of stuff. So we try to keep it real minimal. We don't have lawn. We just do rocks, things that keep it to prevent using too much water, a lot of succulents, that kind of stuff. We recycle. We shop over at my neighbor's house. They grow all their vegetables over there. I haven't started my garden yet. Also, every company I shop at, I think because I've written so much about green stuff and then, all the stuff that Ken's doing, I tend to now look for everything make sure it's had no animal testing. I make sure they're part of a green business before I shop there. If I am up against two companies, that's what I'm looking for. And I've also gone through, and we've not become vegetarians, just kind of weird for us since we used to hunt. Um, I've just taken a lot of meat out of our diet, just kind of gone minimal, especially beef. I do not eat my own chickens, but I do eat their eggs. So just little stuff. And we're big on recycling, but that's, I mean, huge. Kids
Yeah.
get yelled at if they don't recycle.
Meat, that's a good reminder for me. I asked my wife, I'm like, we need to take meat out of our diet. Just one day a week. Just one day a week we can have a vegetable. We do, she does stir fry all the time. And I'm like, you can put in some mushrooms in there. I don't think I'd even miss it. And one day a week is a start.
Yeah. Turkey, fish. Yeah. That's about what we do. Go ahead, Lindsay.
Lindsay, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so we do small things like anything that we can have as a reusable option, we have, like reusable bags so that we're not buying sandwich bags. We don't do paper towels or anything like that in the house. We always use rags that I can wash or whatever it is. We have glass jars that we use for drinking out of. We have reusable stainless steel straws. And then especially anything that has to do with my kids, I'm a little bit more particular about in terms of like what goes on their bodies, like products I use on them. It's big for me that they're clean, that they're green, that they're super safe. And that goes with a lot of even bigger clothing brands have expanded into using more like organic cotton and things of that nature that are better sourced and things like that. So we try to do that. I do that especially for them, and we try to incorporate it. It's hard. I think it's easier to make little changes instead of trying to dive right in, because it can be really overwhelming when you watch these documentaries about like what's happening, and you're kind of flooded with information about like, I need to just change everything all at once. So that's always kind of my encouragement when, friends and family kind of ask how we're doing it, is just, do it when you can and how you can, and do the best you can.
I love it. Thank you. And something I've started to do lately that I've forgotten about, when we go out to eat, the people at the restaurant always want to bring my kids a plastic cup with a plastic lid and a plastic straw. So I'm immediately telling the waitress when they come over, go, please bring us, if you have a plastic cup, great. If reusable, like part of your inventory. If not, my kids can drink out of a glass. Please don't bring me a plastic cup. That's, we eat out plenty. Like just that alone is going to add up. My town, by the way, is actually outlawed straws.
Good.
And all of a sudden, it's amazing. All of a sudden, people just switch to paper straws, and it's like it was over. It was like no big deal. It's been amazing. So, anybody else?
I added mine.
Kate.
Who's up next?
Kate.
Me. I think mine are little things too. I'm really excited because we just bought a completely organic mattress and bedding from a company, the avocado company, that is just they're ripping it up as far as they're also a 1% for the planet company. So that's exciting. I've been thinking a lot. I always think a lot. I'm very passionate about farming. So I honestly make a point of buying only at our co-op, which supports local organic farming, sustainable farming practices, even though we spend crazy amounts on food. I think it is so important. So, and just last night I was thinking about what can I do to further support these farmers. This one is big. Like, I'm really big on cleaning products because I just think, first of all, we spend all this money and we use all this plastic with cleaning products, and it makes me so angry. And I bought from a company called Branch Basics, who's doing great non-toxic things and using reusable bottles. But something happened when I got to the glass cleaner. So basically, they give you a thing of soap if you're not familiar, and then they give you a bunch of different bottles. And you use filtered water and their soap in different proportions to create the cleaners for different items. When I got to the glass cleaner, used less than 1 drop of cleaner to water. And I just about lost it. I was like, glass cleaner is the biggest joke. So I did some research. I don't know if you guys are using these. You probably are. But I ordered a bunch of eCloths on Amazon, and they are freaking amazing. We are essentially not using any cleaners in our house right now. We're using eCloths. My windows are immaculate when I use those things, and they're so easy to use. So that's my suggestion.
What is an eCloth? It's like
it's microfiber with like and then use various different cloths for different surfaces. I don't know if that matters so much, but then it's also got a polishing cloth, and bacteria and everything gets trapped in those microfibers, and then you wash them, and then you just use a polishing cloth. You don't need any cleaner, and they've been tested. Apparently they really do clean things, and I'm amazed at the surfaces, like how clean they come without any toxic chemicals. Even though we always buy green cleaning products, it just still is like plastic bottles, and it's still chemicals. It's still like, whatever. So
the window cleaning thing, like vinegar and water with like a drop of dish soap. I clean my entire house windows. I got like the pro kit, like the sheepskin covered thing, and I do all my windows with that, and they're just like beautiful.
Spotless. Yeah, the window thing. Yeah, this is just water. It's nuts.
I also encourage you, with the means, to buy an electric car. It has been an amazing experience. Something unpredicted is the convenience factor. You're like, what? Convenience factor? Yeah, I don't ever think about going to the gas station ever. Like, I don't check the fuel gauge. Like, I check the mileage thing every now and then, and I plug it in like once a week. But I never, and I plug it in at home. I don't spend a moment in a gas station line, going to a gas station line, worrying about it going to a gas station line, trying to plan my Costco trip and my gas thing at the same time. Like, I have none of that. The other convenience thing is I just walk away from my car, and it just automatically locks itself. I walk up to the car, it automatically sees my phone on Bluetooth, it opens it up. The convenience factor has just been amazing.
Wow.
And
I
even
actually have a question about that, because I keep asking around about that. Like, you probably did a bunch of research, and I keep hearing about like the batteries that we're still not quite there yet. And then like the metals that are needed to produce these batteries are coming from like China, very unclean mines. And if we were we're not at the point yet where it's sustainable or advantageous to the environment if we're all using electric cars yet. Like, I'm sure like at the proportions we are now.
I'm sure if you dig into it hard enough, you'll find, it's not a 100% perfect solution, right? But my feeling has always been, I'm going to contribute to us getting there. Like, Tesla will never get there if there's not a market and enough people that are willing to buy this level of car so that they can get better and better and better at it. Right? Tesla's trying, in my opinion, they have their heart in the right place. They're trying to save the planet by moving people to electric vehicles. All of their patents they've just made available to people. They've been incredibly generous. Anyway, sorry, who's next? Who's another? Caroline.
A lot of people have already said a lot of things we already do. We don't eat a ton of red meat. In fact, I'd be happy if I never ate any, but my husband likes it every once in a while. But another thing we do, in addition to, especially with kids around, we try to buy as much as we can in bulk, because one thing that really bothers me is all the packaging. So even if you don't buy like individual portions of stuff, even the regular bags of stuff, it's just unnecessary. So we do try to get a lot of stuff from Costco when we can, bigger things that aren't individually sized, package and that kind of stuff. And then also super proud of my 11-year-old who at her new charter school last year when she was in 5th grade and 5 other, that's my dog, and 5 other people started an Earth Club with her science teacher. And they implemented a ton of new policies and procedures around the school, new ways to recycle, what they can recycle, asking some of the delivery services they have for lunch, because they don't have like a hot lunch cafeteria, And so they called the vendors and asked them if they could package their products differently. So then those things could also be recycled, and they complied. So they're just coming up with some really amazing ways. I'm super proud of her and very grateful for her teacher who's helping them do all of that.
That is so cool. Our science teacher did like a presentation on recycling and what's able to recycle and what's not and all that. And then the next question was, so what are we doing here at the school? They didn't have it rolled out yet. So I just reminded me, I'm writing that down to make sure that actually happens this year. We need to have like a whole, pictures of stuff that goes in this trash can and this trash can and this trash can. They throw away a bunch of.
That's kind of what these fifth graders did. And they go around to every class every week and empty all the bins, and they do it all.
Very cool. Who's next? Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I probably don't really have anything that anyone else hasn't already said. Most of our stuff we've been doing for like a very, very long time. We've had a really big garden for as long as we've owned a house. And we're very lucky that we live in an area with a lot of farms. So all of our meat, dairy, eggs come from like one of our neighbors. And most of our produce comes local. Because even though we live in New England and it's going to get very cold soon, there's a lot of greenhouse grown and some indoor hydroponic. Some really big indoor hydroponic places that have set up in factories in the area. So we've been able to get most of our vegetables year round local, which they do. They've all come together under like a service. So we go online every week, we order what we want, and we're able to pick them up all together locally, which cuts down on travel. Obviously, there's not a lot of packaging. It's super cool. I've been trying to get like all my friends to do it, and everyone's like under the impression that it's going to be super expensive, but it's really not. I think we're actually saving money versus going to Whole Foods and buying the same stuff.
Yeah.
So
we have a prospect right now that's a CSA in North Carolina. So I'm really hopeful that we're gonna get them and help them with their mission.
Yeah, super cool stuff. And like our friends, like our neighbor does pigs. So in a little while, we'll be giving him a deposit for a pig, and they'll raise it and take care of it. And then we pick it up once it's freezer ready. But it's super cool because we know where all our stuff is coming from, and we grow a lot of our stuff. We have the bees. We haven't really used cleaning products in forever. I discovered those cloths. They are amazing. Like water to clean your windows. Does better than anything else with this stuff. So yeah, we don't really use a whole lot.
I wrote down pig because it reminded me that through my friend, we ordered one last year, like half of one together, and then I haven't thought about it since, and it was amazing and delicious. And I wrote that down as hopefully you guys are writing down some action items that are coming up.
Nothing like fresh bacon.
I know, it's amazing.
So good.
Anybody else? Emma?
Yep.
I put mine in the chat.
Oh.
Pick up other people's trash. Oh, that's great. So you bring just a bag with you every time you go on a hike.
Yeah, and then we collect cans and take them in the bag route and stuff like that.
You've got Teresa's microphone now. We can't hear you. Yes, leftovers. I am the king of leftovers. Pretty much anything that's leftover can go in a scramble for breakfast the next day, or goes in a wok. Like, we haven't really even done the soup thing, but that's another deal. Emily, what do you got?
Most things that everybody else has already said. Really big on reusable paper towels, Ziplocs, Tupperware, everything. Diapers. We make our own wipes. We make our own hand soap.
If you actually have reusable diapers and you've made that choice, I just want to give you a thank you and a thumbs up. That is a difficult, hard decision that we could never get around.
We are not
we're not 100%. We're not 100% reusable, mostly because of the water consumption that comes along with it. So we do 50-50 pretty much. Of them now, so that's great. But like I said, making our own hand soap, I think, made a big difference because those are always in plastic bottles, just reusing them. I actually have an old plastic bottle that's like, I don't even know how old it is anymore, but we just keep making our own soap and refilling it.
Wow. Making your
So
own
that's
soap.
a good one. Yeah. Just hand soap. It's almost the same solution as what we use for the baby wipes. And super easy. We have our own garden. We are part of a co-op too. So it's a single farm, but they deliver local, like to someone's house. So we go and pick up milk and eggs and beef too. And we actually eat meat. We only have it once or twice a week, but when we do, we order it from this co-op that we're a part of. And we live in a pretty developed area. Like we're close to the city, but this farm just happens to deliver close to us, and it's a great setup.
Cool. Make sure you tell your neighbors. This morning, I just remembered, this morning I took a 5-gallon bucket out of my garage and I went and scooped up water that was from yesterday's bath to water these there's several plants in my new landscaping that don't have irrigation because they're across the sidewalks. They need to be manually watered. And I'm like, there's not that much soap in this water that these plants can't handle it. So I just manually watered those today with the bath water we used from last night.
I have another one.
Yeah.
I switched our house to glass bottles for the hand soap. I haven't gone to making the hand soap because I am addicted to foam and I need to find out a foaming kind. So I don't know. Anyway, I've just switched everybody so that we stop buying the plastic bottles, like whatever. Also, we've gotten rid of, I had stacks and stacks of Bath and Body, the bath soaps, which is all in plastic. And we have now gone to the organic where people make the soaps. I've tried making soaps. It never turns out like their soaps. It just is amazing. So I still want to learn how to do it the right way. So we've switched everybody over to that, and I'm down to my last 2 bottles of Bath and Body. It's like the very end because I'm going to use them till they're gone, and I'm not buying any more. So we've switched on that switch too. It's just all the little stuff you forget about that you're
Very
doing
cool.
here.
I also want to remind everybody who commuted this morning. Nobody. I did.
My dog barking.
I commuted 9 miles in an electric vehicle, however. But so everybody else on this call did not commute a single 10 feet. And let's take some pride in that as well. Cool. All right. Well, thanks, guys. I just wanted to find out if there's anything that I'm missing out on. I wrote down several things, so I appreciate that. I'm going to do the eCloth. This Beyond Meat thing, have you guys experienced this yet? Somebody brought some over to barbecue, and it was like a plastic tray with a plastic liner and like 2 patties of meat in there. And I was like, I'm not sure this is quite what I was hoping for, but it tasted pretty decent. I think we're going to see a revolution on that plant-based meat type substitute soon. So that's cool. Recycling on the school program, ordering the pig again, and eCloths. I'm going to check those out. So hopefully you wrote down some takeaways from this. Hopefully you understand how important it is to me. I just spent whatever number of minutes times the number of dollars on this phone call talking about this stuff that has nothing to do with email broadcast. So you know that it's important to me. Anyway, that's all I've got. A recipe book for leftovers. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Put down 39 minutes on your time card unless you stay behind with me. Go forth and publish.